Hey everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith, and I'm here to share with you my fellowship devotional process in Revival Camp. And I'm going to start by gluing two of the pages from the add-on Traveler's Notebook insert together. Like I said in my last video, this journal has way more pages than I will use personally for Revival Camp, so I'm doubling them up to create an extra sturdy work surface. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some of the kit washi tape down on the edge of the left page. This is where I have been gluing down the devotional content, and since it doesn't reach all the way across the page, I like having this little strip of washi hanging off the left, and I think it will be cool at the end of the summer, once Revival Camp is over, to look back and see all the different devos with the different washi kits from all three, washi tape from all three kits. So I'm just going to use the Illustrated Faith tape runner to go ahead and glue the devotional paper into the journal. And there you can see sessions 1, 2, and 3 all match. So I've pulled a few things and have them over to the right of my screen there. And I'm going to layer that patterned transparency, the pink tissue that comes with the devotional kit, like what it's packed in. And then I'm using a Tim Holtz stencil here with a mini ink blending tool and distress ink and worn lipstick. So I thought it would be fun to use the stencil as a base layer, and I put it in 3 places to create a triangle, just to kind of have peeking out from underneath all the layers I plan to add today. So that, like I said, this is the pink tissue that the kit comes wrapped in, and I thought it would be really fun to use this. It's got a great texture, and I'm just going to go ahead and trim a little corner. I crumpled it up a little bit to give it a little bit more texture, and then I'm going to fold it over in half and then staple it with a tiny attacher, just to give it a little bit, a little more interest, a little more dimension. I have this piece of heart vellum. This is really old. I'm not even sure of the manufacturer. I just have it in my stash, and thought it would be fun layered underneath the tissue paper and that other transparency that I have here. This is a piece of patterned paper from the Print and Pray shop designed by Tamara Arcilia, and I love the dark green. I love how the dark green kind of like contrasts with the purple pinkish of the tissue. So I'm just cutting pieces out and then trimming them down as needed. And then I realized here that I wanted to go ahead and take a little bit off of the tissue paper, and I'm going to cut a larger strip from Tamara's patterned transparency. I wanted something a bit longer. So you can see I've still got most of the stencil peeking out from underneath those layers. I will go in and add some over to the right. That frantic hand motion there was "Where's my tape runner?" And so once I have an idea of where I want things, I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down, not spending too much time second guessing myself. In total, I think this whole process took about 24 minutes. I was really tempted to use the badge for this session, but like I had been doing in previous entries, I'm going to use the badges included with the stamp set and go ahead and stamp the badge down instead of using the actual badge on my page, but I came so close to using it. And just like I have on my previous 2 entries, I'm using these rainbow grid labels from Elaine Davis, also in the Print and Pray shop. They've become a staple on my pages. They're really fun. I love that they're in the coordinating Revival Camp colors, and so I'm going to keep those off to the side to remember to use them. Now here I'm just testing a few different color inks to see which pink I may want to use to stamp the badge. I'm still thinking maybe I'll use the actual like fabric badge, but I ended up going with the distress ink that I had used for the stencil. I think it was the best color match for what I had already happening on my page. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp the fellowship word on top of each badge just so I get an idea of how each one will look, and then I can go ahead and choose my favorite. So I really liked this watermelon color, and it's actually the distress ink worn lipstick, and decided to go with that one. I thought it was a better match. For the page, there was like higher contrast, and then I'm going to layer it on top of this aqua colored grid label. Next, I'm bringing in pieces that I have left from Tamara's set. This is her Print and Pray set, Friends Forever. And a lot of the elements that I would add on here are just too large. I already have a lot happening on the page, and I really want my journaling card that's going to live on top of the tissue paper to be the focal point. So I'm looking through here to see what I could possibly use, and I end up cutting a few florals out. As soon as I saw that the theme for this session was fellowship, I knew I wanted to use Tamara's set. I loved using it for the Stronger Together devotional kit that we worked through in the month of June, and it's just such a great versatile set to use when we're journaling about fellowship and community, because that is definitely a theme we see over and over again in the Bible. So lots of versatility in this set. Next, I'm going to get to work on this little cluster here, layering the larger floral pleat piece up top and the smaller one on the bottom next to that badge and the label. And I'm just going to go ahead, not second guess things, and stick them down. I really want all of the layers to touch, to be connected. I don't really want any white space in there, so I was keeping that in mind when I was figuring out the placement of things. Next, I pulled this piece of patterned paper from Brave Little Tailor's set, Totally Transformed. I think she has a patterned paper bundle, and I really like the green. I like how it pops off of the pink, and it's just lined enough that it would be a great journaling spot. So here I'm going to include a little prayer, but I'm going to wait first and do some more stenciling before I finish it off with the journaling. So my layers kind of covered up the stenciling that I had done on the right. No big deal. I just very easily was able to kind of put it back. Now I'm looking to see what else I can add to this page. I really like this heart on the bottom, and I like, having the hearts echoed again. So I haven't stamped this yet. I'm just testing it out here on my scrap paper and also using it as a mask so I don't cover up some of the die cut pieces or the print and pray pieces with the ink. And I'm just going to stamp this around the page in about 5 places just to bring some black into the page instead of doing like watercolor splatters or something. Then in her devotional, Janet references Ecclesiastes 4:12, and the last part says, "A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." And I love how she talks about fellowship, but also kind of talks about maybe the not so wonderful parts of fellowship. And she reminds us that the true mark of fellowship is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of a reconciling spirit. So I'm writing here on this little journaling spot a quick prayer, thanking God for the gift of community and fellowship, and asking Him to help me love others the way that Jesus did, especially those that seem more difficult to love than others. Because true fellowship isn't all pizza parties and, sleepovers, and sinful people are involved, right? And so there's some inevitable hurt there, potential struggles. And I really like that in her devotional, Janet didn't gloss over that at all, but instead pointed us to Jesus, who knows all about that. The last thing I'm going to do on my page is take the Studio Calico Mega Date stamp, and I'm going to ink half of it. I'm aware that it's 2018 at this point since I've used this on a previous page, and I'm just going to stamp August 1st down on the bottom right to bring in a little more black to the page. And that's going to do it for me. Here's a finished look on my entry in my notebook along with a couple of close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in any of the products I've used for this entry, I've got them linked in the video description below. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you are just having so much fun alongside us as we journal through Revival Camp 2018 together. And I'll see you soon.